Have you ever wanted an earphone that when you walk by, people will just turn their heads and say, "What are those?" Well, I have something for you. Welcome back, audiophiles. It's me, your boy Joe, back again with another video, and this time we'll be looking at the VSA Max. Now, this is one of the most flashiest and the most luxurious looking IEMs I've ever encountered so far. It promises to have good bass, excellent vocals, and a club-ready vibe. Whether this does live up to the expectations or not, we'll see soon enough. As for the VSA Max, this is from the EarAcoustic Audio Group, and this VSA Max retails at about $150 as of their website. And a quick disclaimer is that this VSA Max is being given to me by the Audio Geek Group. Huge shout out to them, and thanks a lot for sponsoring this unit. But as usual, all thoughts and opinions are my own. With that said, let's get to the unboxing. Okay, so let's begin by unboxing the VSA Max. As you can see, the box is really beautiful. It has this purple color to it, and it has the branding written all around it. It says VSA, Vocal Sweetness Amplified, and some more writing, some more doodads about the EarAcoustic Audio brand. Let's dig in. Nice experience. VSA amplified again. Pull tab. Wow. And these are the IEMs. You can see it's glistening a lot. Beautiful glittering. It's pre-installed with an ear tip as well. And this is the carry case. Nice red color carry case, pretty dazzling, and a wonderful silver cable with a cable attachment as well. And I see that we have modular terminations. That's good to see. Let's check out what we have in here. Okay, so this one's the paperwork, and these are the ear tips. So we have our set of narrow bore and wide bore ear tips. As you can see, these ones are the wide bore and this one's the narrow bore, along with whatever we are already having. And we have two terminations. We have the 4.4 and we have the 3.5. Let's get the 3.5 up and running. So I guess this one is just friction fit. It just slides in. We have to line the notch up and push it in. That's it. Super shine on this with that snake logo with the VSA. Ear hooks themselves have a L and an R written in it for matching. Can't tell you how much this is actually glittering in real life as well as what you're seeing on camera. So that's pretty much it. So as you can see, you're pretty much getting a lot of things for what you pay for. You're having a beautiful looking case. I really like the way this case feels. And the IEMs themselves are stunning. I can't tell you how much they're actually glittering when you're looking at it from close up, and pictures don't do this thing justice. So the VSA Max itself actually consists of a single 11.4 mm dynamic driver. As for the jargons that the ear audio guys use, is the Tesla coil, and it's titanium based as well. In terms of specs, we have a 32 ohm impedance with a sensitivity of 110 dB. So these are actually pretty sensitive IEMs, which I could also account for. I will touch up more on that sensitivity when we get to the sound impression. As for the IEMs themselves, it's made out of an aluminum shell, which has a kind of a resin cover in it. Don't think that this is actually a film and try to peel it off. That doesn't come out that way. It's actually a resin finishing which gives it a smooth feel. It also has a kind of design elements all around it, a huge vent in the back, As for the faceplates, the bling bling factor is huge, and of course head turning whenever you're wearing this out in public, so it's pretty comfortable. The contours is also really good. I could wear this for a long time and had no issues with it. And the ear hooks, they look aggressive, but actually it's really comfortable for me at least. These ear hooks will then go through this cable, which is a nice thick looking cable, which is a bit on the silvery side, so I do have a little bit of worry that would this yellow over time, similar to like the Kato cable or something like that, but time will tell for this particular cable. But in terms of thickness, I love it. It's really nice. It has that perfect thickness for it. And as you move down, we have a wonderful Y split, which is all in metal again, and a very good chin slider that works and holds its position. Not so tightly, but this is comfortable enough that while you're wearing it and you adjust the chin slider, it doesn't come off. But if you really tug on it hard enough, you could see it slides a little. And from the Y split, we have a double braided cable, which once again looks really beautiful, and finally terminates at a 3.5 or a 4.4. One thing to note is that this is a friction-based termination, so I don't suppose you want to keep on plucking it and putting back different terminations. It might get really loose on you and might pop off while you're using your IEM. So do note that in mind. Use the particular termination you want and keep it that way. So enough said about the beauty of this IEM. Let's go for the fit test and see how it works. Oh yeah, I didn't go for the rest of things. So in terms of ear tips, we have the wide bore ear tips, which also comes pre-installed, and there's a couple of more sizes in the box, as well as the narrow bore ear tips. As for me, I really preferred the wide bore ear tips, which actually comes along in its packaging. It's a perfect fit. I managed to get a really good seal while I'm wearing it. I do suggest, if you want to have more extra bass in your thing, of course you can go for the narrow bore ear tips, but for me at least, it was really good. The sound signature is perfect the way it is in the wide bore ear tips. As for other kind of ear tips, I do suggest using the SpinFit W1 that had a very perfect seal, and if you're into that kind of SpinFit catter. Enough said about the beauty of these IEMs, it's time for a fit test. Fit wise, it's really good. It's fitting in my ear like a glove, and I don't have any pressure points or any hot spots. And I do believe that the contours is really good on this IEM. The chin slider works in place. I can pull it up, doesn't fall down. This one's the right side. And here's the left side. So as you can see, it glitters like anything, and if you are walking outside, you're going to reflect even more of the sun on these particular glittery IEMs and get some heads turning. Style factor, this one is to the max, as well as the cable. The cable really does blend in with the style points of the IEM. It's one of the flashiest IEMs I've ever seen, and you get a really good snake-like logo on the termination. It's something that I really like. And another good thing about this case is that this case can store the IEMs perfectly inside. There's also plenty of space for you to put your DAC inside if you're into that as well. With the IEMs connected, it's time to move on to the sound impressions. As usual, we're going to be starting off with the frequency response graph of the VSA Max. As you can see in here, this is a typical V-shaped graph with a good amount of sub bass, which rolls down to a mid, and then having a nice sense of treble and air. So as you can see, with respect to the Harman target, it's not going so fast downwards, but it's smoothly going towards the mid-range, and then it's going towards the treble, not so high up as in terms of the ear gain, but then it has an extra sense of air and presence to it. So this particular signature corresponds to a very good sub bass, which has a heavy amount of rumble in it. I do feel that in the VSA Max, with a nice clean sense of mids in which the sub bass actually doesn't bleed too much into the mids. I don't feel that kind of bleeding sensation in here, and the mids feel really nice, but the vocals, they pop up so sweet, especially the female vocals. So the female vocals pop up and they're front and center, very lively, very much immersive in that expression. Even on the busy tracks, the instrument separation feels really good. If you love vocals, which is tangible and has the kind of emotional effect to it, this is the sweet spot for you. In terms of treble, I feel like the treble is balanced. It has a good smoothness factor to it, since you could see that the ear gain is not so high, but it does have a very good sense of air and presence. It does teeter off a little bit to the sharper side if the instruments in use are extremely high frequencies. I feel like there's a satisfying sense of air that's present in every song that I'm listening to. If I want to talk in terms of soundstage, I would say this soundstage is not so wide, but I would not call this a narrow soundstage either. It's really good. It's in a very good region where I could feel that the instruments are well separated and I could point out the individual instruments very well. So in terms of imaging, it's really good. In terms of the soundstage, okay. Not the widest, but certainly not narrow. So it's time to blast these guys with some songs and get back to you.
A few moments later.
Before we touch up on our first song, I just wanted to talk about the drivability aspects of the VSA Max. When it comes to driving these things, I could tell you that you really don't need to go all out in terms of the power. That's actually an important factor. Why? Because I'm actually using the 3.5mm instead of the 4.4mm termination. When you use too much power on the VSA Max, you start to end up with this little sense of shrill that will come along with the music. When you start to use more on the 4.4mm output of the VSA Max and feed it a lot of power, you start to feel a little bit of harshness when it comes into the treble region. This is because of that air that I was telling you about before. So that is why when you use the 3.5 and you use it in a controlled power, you actually start to get more of that lush sense in the bass region. That doesn't make the treble region sharp or harsh in any way, shape or form. So it's not even an adjustment factor towards that, but I would say when you're using the 3.5, you're really good to go. You get really good sense of power. You really don't need to go to the 4.4 unless you really want to have that extra crispy treble for your sake. So before we get into the song impressions, I would like to tell you that I'll be sharing my playlist that I'll be using for the songs that I'm telling about right now, as well as the future songs, in the comments below. So do check it out. You can see the public Apple playlist down below. Okay, so the first song that we're going to look at is Me Clan by the League of Legends group and LIT Killah. League of Legends, I know you're watching this, and if you are, do notice me. So this song actually has a very good synth, the bass synth that would reverberate around your ear if you have the good gear for it. And I would say the VSA Max is amazing. It gives that rumbling sensation that I really like. The slam is also excellent and it's on point. And as far as the vocals are forward. It's very clean. I really like how it is. The bass has a kind of texture to it as well. That synth has a little bit of grind, if you know what I mean, and it feels so good when listening to the VSA Max. In terms of soundstage, I would say the soundstage is medium. It is enveloping because of that bass response, but it's in a medium soundstage. But the isolation is excellent. I could pinpoint each of the individual instruments in this song. Overall, an awesome song, and it's rendered really well with the VSA Max. So the next song that we're going to be looking at is Baby by GIMS. Now, this one is an excellent song in which there's actually kind of like a clapping rhythm that you'll be hearing in the back end, and the piano, there's a very good piano that'll be playing in the background. All of the instruments are just beautiful in this particular song. So the bass in this song is actually a well-controlled small bass line that will be going along, but the bass hits, there'll be a couple of hits and hi-hats that is rendered so well with the VSA Max. As for the male vocals, once again, it's VSA Max we're talking about, so those male vocals are forward, front and center, crisp and clean as well. None of the instruments in here has any kind of harshness or sibilance to it. But on the other hand, if you do use the 4.4 and then, crank up the output power, the particular hi-hats that I was mentioning about starts to get a little bit on the sharp side. This is why I was using this with the 3.5mm jack instead of the 4.4mm jack. It's beautiful in that there is absolutely no harshness that I'm feeling at all with the VSA Max. Crystal clean, enjoyed it a lot. Perfect rendition and very good song as well. So the next one that we're going to be looking at is Pick Me Fever by Phase Music. Now in this one, this is female vocals. And as usual, the female vocals are front and center, super crispy, clean as well. There is a set of drums that'll be in this song, which is so clean and so clear when you're listening with the VSA Max. You could even tell the location of the drums as they're playing. So with a good amount of soundstage and excellent isolation as usual. There is a very good bass synth that comes in this particular song, and that is rendered really well with the VSA Max. I feel that sub bass rumble. I feel all the different instruments. The layering is so perfect in this particular song. There is a lot of special effects and sound effects that comes in this particular song, and that is also really clean, and it comes from left to right and right to left. That is also really clean. Comes out really good with the VSA Max. So overall, the VSA Max did excellent, and it's really good. Nice song as well. So the last one that we're going to be looking into is Dangerous by David Guetta featuring Sam Martin. Now this one is a really good build-up type of song where it starts building up with more and more instruments and layers with the male vocals, and then comes out to a very climatic drop in the end, and it just gives goosebumps when you listen with the VSA Max. And the reason is that the individual instruments, its separation is so good. Once again, the male vocal clarity is amazing. Sam's vocals is nice, crystal clear, and it has that kind of crispiness to it. There is an electric guitar that gets played in the background, and that electric guitar with this little bit of a distortion is so good and clean. There's also a piano that'll start from the beginning, and that piano feels so natural when I'm listening to the VSA Max. It doesn't feel artificial, it doesn't have that kind of sibilance or anything. Feels so natural, feels warm in fact when you're listening to it, and that piano comes in and then it builds up with all the different layers and the bass, and it's amazing. It gives me, it's like hair racing when I'm listening to it. I really enjoyed the song with the VSA Max, and hit of a song, perfect rendition. What more can I say with the VSA Max? So finally, should you get the VSA Max, and is it good for you? Well, for me, for starters, the package is amazing. The build quality, the cable, and the modular termination, all are really good. And should you get the VSA Max? Well, I would say you could get the VSA Max if you're a bass lover. Well, as a bass head, this is excellent. It has really good bass rumble, it has an excellent mid-range, and it has a smooth and crispy treble to boot for that. So it has a perfect V-shaped rendition. If you're also a person who is into the bling bling factor, then by all means, this tops the charts. It's an excellent build. It's so pretty to look at, and it has that comfort to boot. So it's not something that you're giving away for the particular pretty bling bling factor. And I would say you could skip the VSA Max if you're a person who is extremely treble sensitive. If you think that the particular treble response in here is a little bit to the harsh side, maybe because of the combination of what is your source output, as well as probably if you're using the 4.4. If you're a person who is mid-focused, you want to know more of the vocals with less of that bass, if you want a toned down bass response, then probably this is not it for you. As for me, I really loved how the bass response is with this. As a bass head, I loved it. And with the case of the treble being a bit too high when using 4.4, I just happily switched to the 3.5, and then all my gear was using the 3.5 just well, especially with me using the M5 Ultra. When I was using the Muse M5 Ultra, it gives an extra sense of lushness, which is amazing with this. So with all of that said, I would happily give the VSA Max a 5 out of 5 for its bling bling factor and being a bass heavy set as well. So with all that said, that's my rating for the VSA Max. Do let me know if you like the VSA Max and if you're a bling bling user yourself down at the comments below. And as usual, if you do like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I don't know. And this is Joe, and I would see you in the next review. Peace.